to not only locate the cause, the root cause of suffering, but to eliminate it. We have that responsibility ourselves. It's not to be found in the outside world. It's not put in the hands of anyone else, any deity, or any guru, any teacher. It is totally up to us. The Buddha himself said in a scripture that were it up to me, then samsara would be empty. If I could do it for you, samsara would be empty. But I can only show you the way. You yourself have to practice. You yourself have to try it out. You yourself have to investigate. You yourself have to sit on that cushion and meditate.
So in any case, the point is that when we think about liberation, we should not have the notion that it exists outside somewhere as a kind of a physical plane or physical domain. Rather, liberation has to be understood in terms of one's own quality of mind or state of mind. And we spoke about the presence of natural nirvana, the natural purity in all of us, which serves as the basis. And on that basis, when all the obscurations and the afflictions are eliminated, that is the true nirvana, that's the true liberation. And when you go deeper in your understanding of the nature of liberation or moksha, then we can understand it in terms of the ultimate nature of one's own mind. The ultimate nature of one's own mind at a stage when all the afflictions are eliminated, that is the liberation, that is moksha. So we find that actually in the final analysis, it is our ignorance and fundamental misconception of the ultimate nature of reality that lies at the root of our samsaric existence, that lies at the root of our unenlightened existence. Therefore, if it is the ignorance and misconception of the fundamental nature of reality that creates the unenlightened existence, that means it is by cultivating the correct insight into the true nature of reality which will begin the process of undoing this unenlightened existence, which will begin the process of liberation. Therefore, as the Tibetan masters say, that when in ignorant state we are in samsara, when insight or when the knowledge is developed, generated, then we are liberated. So this samsara and nirvana is distinguished on the basis of whether we are in the state of ignorance or whether we are in the state of knowledge. And so what we find here is that the ultimate antidote for eliminating the fundamental ignorance, which is the root of cyclic existence, is the wisdom realizing emptiness, wisdom cognizing emptiness. And the emptiness, the ultimate nature of that mind, when all the obscurations have been eliminated, that emptiness of mind is that quality of mind is the nirvana. That's the final nirvana. So therefore, we can say that that which causes us to be caught in unenlightened existence relates to our ignorance of the fundamental nature of reality, emptiness. So from the Buddhist point of view, this will be explained in terms of, in the following way, that in the physical world, there is an ever-present continuum at the subtlemost level of a physical continuum. We spoke about this earlier, which is space particles. And then when it interacts, comes into contact with sentient beings' karma acts as a condition, which then give rise to various permutations of the physical reality, so that eventually a macroscopic world comes into being that can actually have direct effect upon sentient beings' experience of pain and pleasure, happiness and suffering. So it is on these lines that the Buddhists would explain the whole evolution and dissolution of universe. This is very clear if you look at the traditional Buddhist teachings on the 12 links of dependent origination, which gives the picture of the process of evolution within the cycle of existence. We find that the individual's existence in cycle of samsara, unenlightened existence, is explained in terms of this 12 interlocking chain. And here it is very clear that there is no concept of there being some kind of central unifying figure, which is like the kind of the creator of everything, and then everything sort of revolves around it. Rather, the whole evolution is explained in terms of interlocking 12 sets of 12 chains. So the point of interlocking is that when, for example, one cycle of 12 links is in progress, before that entire cycle finishes, another cycle is already set in motion, so that while, for example, when you are already experiencing the consequences within 12 chains, already ignorance and the karmic actions and so on, which is part of another cycle, is already set in motion. So in the teachings on the 12 links, the Buddha teaches us that the two sets of 12 links, a cycle of a chain of 12 links. One is the evolution within the evolution of an individual within the unenlightened existence, starting from ignorance, karmic volitional acts, consciousness, and so on. Then he also explains to us another cycle where the cycle is reversed, which then gives us the reversal process, where the process of enlightenment is explained. So by eliminating, by bringing to an end ignorance, then the volitional acts are prevented. By preventing volitional acts, consciousness is prevented, and so on. So the reversal process of unenlightened existence is also explained.
So I think the 12 links is a fantastic teaching in terms of getting some fresh respect for the law of cause and effect. Because if you really think that each moment of ignorance is going to produce, or will possibly produce, a cause for one's next rebirth in samsara, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty scary. It's going to make, I found for myself that it definitely made me respect a little bit more my choices and my actions. And I think the other thing, of course, especially for Westerners, I think that the picture of the 12 links is kind of powerful, because of course it all begins, you know, the picture with a little old, usually it's a little old lady or a little old man with their stick, you know, because they're blind. And I think that's very challenging, because we like to think we're in control of our lives and that we're somehow this powerful, dynamic being walking through the landscape that we have chosen, making decisions, and, you know, we're in the driving seat, and we're kind of successful at that. And then you see this picture, you think, I'm not, that's some Tibetan thing, you know. And then, of course, when you really think about ignorance and how it's essentially leading us by the nose into this mud of harming ourselves and others and continued dissatisfaction, then yeah, we are pretty much like the little blind old lady, tottering towards a precipice, completely unknowing what her steps are leading towards. So I think that it's a very helpful image. But again, the 12 links can really help you to see that actually is a direct benefit that you are giving yourself, and a direct benefit that you're giving to others, because every moment that you're consciously choosing not to act out of strong ignorance is a moment towards your enlightenment, and a moment therefore to be able to benefit others. And every moment you think of that, of course, loosens that sense of, I'm at the center of the world, you exist for me. And it's like, well, no, I don't think that's true. And actually I'm just, existing independence upon other beings, independence upon causes and effects, independence, of course, upon this label, me. So I think that's another way in which we can really use the 12 links to give us not only a sort of a more enjoyable time in our daily life through remembering interdependence, but of course also, trying to use that as a way to get closer to some understanding of selflessness, and some, because selflessness and interdependence are the two sides of the same coin, aren't they? So I think for all of those reasons, very helpful practice to try to reflect upon. In fact, I must do it more.